everyone. Welcome back. I have some exciting news. I am sitting downstairs in my new studio room. I am still moving in, but I wanted to get going on this project. So, I have some other exciting news too. Please ignore the mess. As I said, I'm still getting situated here, but that cardboard box behind me is my microscope. So once I make these resin stones for y'all for my friend's mother's ring, I'm going to do a little unboxing of that. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna open it before I take a video of it. Just because I'm so excited. I can hardly wait. But there it is. We've been waiting. So I am going to just get started making some breast milk resin stones. Alright, y'all, just a disclaimer. My house is like 100 years old, so if you hear some weird noises or the HVAC kicking on, sorry, but you know. Okay, so what you're gonna need is your dried powder, of course, your resin. I have Puduo, that's the brand. I got it on Amazon. It came with a whole bunch of good stuff like finger cots and mixing sticks and little cups and stuff. So that's pretty neat. You can get all kinds of different kinds online, but that's just what I went with. I've used it before in a piece, and I actually polished it when I was done with the entire piece, and it turned out just fine, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it again. It seems to be pretty durable, and it dried really clear, very few bubbles. But like I said, I'm not an expert with this. I'm learning as we go too. So I also have our molds that we made last time. A pair of gloves, because the finger cots are fine, but it seems like this leaked a little bit onto the outside, and I just don't like sticky stuff, so I'm just gonna wear gloves. I also have a mortar and pestle. We're gonna use this first to grind up our preserved powder. Keepsaker Supplies has some white ones. I think they're plastic. They're pretty small. She suggests getting one to do this. I did not get one. I'm just gonna use the one I have here and hope it turns out alright. So I guess we'll see. I'll let you know. You can also choose to wear a respirator or a mask of some kind, breathing protection. I'm not going to, just because I'm talking to y'all, so and I know the person that the product came from, so I'm not too worried about pathogens. I would of course suggest using breathing protection. I normally do if I'm working with something organic. I've done bone inlay, horn inlay, cow horn, deer antler, not horn, I'm sorry. So anytime I work with anything like that, I definitely wear a respirator, but I'm not going to right now. So do as I say, not as I do. We're gonna get started. So this has honestly been sitting for for a couple days. I haven't gotten back down here. I've been moving my stuff. So it is pretty dry, like crisp, which is good because we need to grind it up and do a fine powder. So it doesn't really have any kind of color. It's just white. Excuse me, sorry. And it dried how I spread it on the sheet, and it didn't stick to the parchment or anything, just in case you were wondering. So I'm just gonna carefully take this out and put it into the mortar and pestle. It's definitely more than we need for this particular project, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to grind all of it up and keep any extra in a bag and give it back to my friend. If you do this as a business, some people keep reserves of their clients' milk or powder in, you know, a filing cabinet or a safe with their names. This is kind of a one-time thing for me, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give it all back to my friend. So any extra powder, the extra stones that I make for her in case of loss or damage, and if I have any extra resin, I'm just gonna pour it into another mold just so I don't waste it. I'd hate to waste all of her work, you know, so just trying to be respectful. This is the mold that I have. I keep it in a bag. I brought this home from work to borrow it, but this is the mold that I have. It has all kinds of different shapes. It was the #1 recommended one on Amazon. I believe I used one of the round ones for my last resin project. I'm just gonna pick a shape, whatever I think I can fill with the extra resin, and she can put it on a keychain or set it into a simple bezel for a pendant, or use it as a paperweight. I don't know. I just hate to throw it out. So here we have our product in the mortar and pestle. The lady from Keepsaker Supplies says to grind it up until you think it's fine and then do it more. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Finer that your powder is, the more opaque that your stones will be. My friend chose not to put any additives into her stones like opal powder or glitter, gold flake, that kind of thing. She just wanted the straight preserved milk in the resin, so I'm gonna make sure that it's extra fine so that the stones are extra opaque. So they're really white and shiny and beautiful. So we'll go a little bit more here. I think we're done grinding here, so I didn't think about this. You might want like a spoon and a little bowl, so you can control how much you add to your resin. I didn't think about that, so I'll be right back. I am back with my bowl and my spoon. I'm going to transfer our powder over to our bowl, and then I might sift through it, see if there are any contaminants like pet hair, larger particles that don't belong, just anything I could see that's not supposed to be in there. So, yeah. So here is what this looks like. It's pretty fine. This is way more than we'll need for this many stones, but I will save the rest for my friend. I have my gloves. I have 3 of these little plastic cups. I have my powder and a spoon. I have a skewer and a craft stick. I'm not sure which I'm gonna use. The resin came with the craft stick, but to get the resin into our stone molds, I might use this skewer. It's a really small space, so I think picking a little bit up on the tip and dropping it into the mold might be the best course of action. I glue a lot of stuff using toothpicks, saw blades, like jeweler's saw blades, tiny little pokey things. So I don't know, I have a feeling it's gonna work well. I have our molds. They're still in the bag. When our resin is ready to pour, I'll pull them out. I just want to keep them as clean as possible. I have our resin. It's a 2-part. It says the working time on here is 40 minutes, so that does give me a little bit of relaxation, I suppose. I have a little bit of time to kind of perfect it. I've got our secondary mold here. I don't know what shape I'm going to use. I guess it depends on how much resin we have left. And I also have the Tupperware that we used to cover our drying powder. I am going to put our molds in here and put the lid on kind of upside down so that it's not airtight, but I just want to keep the dust out of here while it's curing. And then when our secondary mold is curing, I'm just going to put one of these guys over it. That's kind of our low stakes project. This is our high stakes project. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to glove up. The directions that come with the resin say to mix it thoroughly for 5 minutes. I'm not gonna make you watch that necessarily. I might do a time lapse or something. So, and I have 3 cups because I'm going to. I might actually want 4. I want 4. So let that be a correction. I need 4 of these. You need 2. You're gonna pour part A in one, part B in the other. Then you'll pour them both into a 3rd cup. You do this because some material sticks to the sides, so in order to have 2 equal amounts of the resin, you're going to want to pour them into another 3rd container. And then I've got the 4th one because I'm going to pour a small amount of the 2-part resin, the one that we're going to use. I'm going to pour a small amount into another cup and then put the powder in that, mix it thoroughly just so there are no dry spots or like weird chunky bits, and then I will pour that back into our larger pool of resin, and then from there I will put it into our molds. Let's go. This looks fairly accurate to me. So here's our 3rd cup. Time to mix. The instructions say to mix it really slowly for 5 minutes so that you kind of reduce the amount of air bubbles that you've got. So, clock starting now. So this is all mixed up. It gets really clear when it's ready. It has been about 5 minutes, but when you start mixing it, you can see the two parts coming together. It kind of swirls up and gets cloudy, and then when it's all consistent, it gets really clear. I do have some bubbles. I haven't decided if I'm gonna try to use my torch or not to get rid of those. A little bit of heat. They kind of dissipate after a while if you let it sit flat. I definitely over poured, so I am gonna go ahead and get another cup and kind of like half this, because I just think it's a lot. So I can always add more, you know, I can't take it away, so it's good to have these on hand, I guess. So I'm gonna pour like half of this in there. So that looks like enough to me. I just kind of covered the bottom. Like, again, we're dealing with very small amounts. For a larger project, obviously you'd want more, but I'll put a little in this clean cup too. And that's what we'll add our powder in. And I'll set our clear off to the side. I don't know exactly how much to put in here, I guess, until it looks opaque. Very cool. I'm not done mixing, but oh, it's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna turn y'all around and get a close-up of this for you. So here is our resin with the milk powder. It's very neat. I'm gonna take our molds out of the bags now and go ahead and put the resin into the mold, and we'll hope it works. If it doesn't work, I have more powder, so we can come back to it, right? All right. So here they are. Obviously, once they're cured, we'll take a little bit of sandpaper to the edges so they're nice and smooth. They look to be pretty opaque. And don't worry about any of this kind of stuff. It'll just flake off of your mold most likely. So yeah, I guess we just wait 24 to 48 hours and see what we come up with. So I'm gonna pop my lid just over my mold. I'm just gonna lay it on there and set these aside. I'm not gonna disturb them too much. I may take them upstairs. It's a little warmer up there. It might be easier for it to cure upstairs. I haven't decided. I doubt it matters. But this is what I've left, which is quite a bit. So I'm just gonna pick a mold. I was warned that if you're doing a larger mold, the milk particles might sink to the bottom. So if you're doing larger molds, you might want to pour in layers. For the stones, I don't think that's something that's necessary. If it does settle any, it shouldn't matter too much because you're looking at the tops of the stones. So I'm not too worried about those, but there is potential that this will settle. I might mix in some clear resin to make it swirly. I don't know. We're just having fun now, so let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm gonna cover these up. I had a lot more than I thought I did. I did a couple hearts, a couple circles, some pears, some tiny circle cabochons. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover those up. I'm gonna leave our stones alone for now and come back to them and see what we end up with. I'm really excited. I hope they turn out. So we'll be back later.